Hello, people. It has occurred to me that we are very much so stuck in ways that we were not intended to be stuck in. It is very difficult for us to understand what is going on around us because we don't understand the importance of knowing what's going on around us. And I'm trying to talk to you really clear because I know I've been looking at a lot of different things. I've been reading a lot of different things, and it's clear to me that there is a big issue going on. But how to understand that when we are trained to denounce that is a whole nother challenge. So, what I want to say is, I want people to understand our heritage, our roots. The reason why we're all so much onto looking into our past is because it lies secrets to some people, but clarification to others like ourselves. For example, we were living a life, giving birth, having communities, living and dying for hundreds of years. And then we were kidnapped, brought to a new land, exploited, and separated from every single thing that we knew and we held true to. With me so far? Those people that kidnapped our ancestors and brought us here to North America, these people who did this had an agenda, had plans, and they grew in power. Those people that had an agenda for our ancestors had children. And that agenda that they had for us continued through their children because their history has not been distorted. Their history has not been chopped up and destroyed where they don't understand where they come from, what language they used to speak before they spoke this language. They have a direct link to their ancestors. They know exactly what their ancestors believed and expected out of the future. We do not. We do not know this because we are confused in their culture trying to live up to what? We don't know because our history and what our ancestors expect us to do has been destroyed and demolished, and we have to go really searching deep to find out what it is that we were supposed to be doing. We are not passing down these secrets to our generations. They are. We are not directly linked to our motherland or to where we were created at. They are. So, if you can believe and accept that they have all of their resources and all of their knowledge and we do not, can you understand also that we were once their slaves, their captive, their animals? Just like you have a home animal, a home pet, we were their property. And one day they realized that they couldn't stop us from not being their property. So then we were not their property. But everything that they did to us was done in the event or with the hopes of us being slaves forever. So everything that they have taught us, given us, showed us, shared with us, all has come from a perspective of them never thinking that we would be equal or better in any type of way. This tradition has not changed. We are still living in this type of life. So my question to you is, if that is what happened, they kidnapped us and took us away from our language, our heritage, what we eat, what we spoke, what our names were, how we wore our hair, how we walked, talked, raised our babies, gave birth to our babies. If they took away everything that made us us, number one, why? The reason is because they never expected us to be anything other than slaves, obviously. But once they decided that slavery was going to be abolished, why didn't they give us back what was us? Why is there no direct link back to what was us? Not even their fault. We should be doing this ourselves. We need to go look and see who we were off top ourselves. But The irritation comes in where we are discouraged because they continue to take information that we created, that we invented, that we had a hand in, and make it seem as though they created it and they had a hand in it and they invented it. So in order for us to worship them like we do and think that they are such great minds, we have to think that all things good come from them. But when you sit back and you really do your research, and not even really do your research, you see Facebook pictures all the time with everything that African Americans invented, everything that they made better, everything that they actually brought here to this country, and this world is thriving off of it right now. You see this all the time, but you don't understand or see or realize that there's something wrong with the fact that you see lowercase history about us when we are like big. We are it. Like everything that they're trying to accomplish and get to, we are already it. It's already in us. It's already in our DNA. All this power and all this ability to do everything that some people are trying to do, we already have it. But we are not. It's just like when you watch a movie like X-Men, people have all these powers in them. They have all these magical powers that they can do, and they call them, X-Men, or Evolution of Man. But when they're young, they don't know how to control these powers. They don't know what to do with them. So they go to the X-Men school so they can learn how to control it, to hone in their craft, so they can be better at what they are naturally born to do. We all have all these wonderful powers, but there is no craft. There is no school for us to go to learn how to do this easily accessible in any way. But not only that, we are very much so turned off by accepting that we may even have these type of gifts or powers, that we do have all this power inside of us, that we are special. We're frowned upon for thinking that way. We're self-righteous. We're conceited. You know what I'm saying? We're crazy. We're out of our mind when we think that we have the power to heal ourselves, or we have the power to heal someone else. But yet and still, other cultures do it and we can accept them. But we can't accept that we can do it. And that is a shame. That is how they whitewashed our brains. That's brainwashing. They took what we already knew and who we already was, and they implanted pictures constantly with TV, with books, with everything that you've been seeing and looking at since you was probably 5, 6 months old. This is nothing but what they wanted us to see, because our reality is what we see, and this is what we see. So this makes us believe that this is our reality. But if we saw something else, that would be our reality. Or we will at least have free will, the choice to choose between which reality we wanted. I don't choose this reality. I refuse to be a slave. I don't care who you believe or who you side with. One thing you should be able to at least establish is that you don't want to be a slave. And when you think about it, we talk about it all the time. We talk about paying water bills for water that was already here. We talk about paying bills for electricity or for gas. And we even joke about pretty soon they're going to be charging us for air. But we're not doing anything to stop it. Think about that.